This is Tackle Talk Live, an inside scoop on how, when, and where to catch bass, with a primary focus on Toledo Bend and Sam Rayburn. Interviews with anglers who are consistent winners on the tournament trail. Your hosts, Camus Boats Pro staffer Steve Graff and Gill Fishing accounts manager Kevin Jean. Two anglers who understand bass fishing with tournament success on all levels. Anglers willing to share their knowledge to help you become a better fisherman. So sit up and pay close attention as they give detailed tournament information and results. Here are the hosts of Tackle Talk Live, Steve Graff and Kevin Jean.
Welcome to another edition of Tackle Talk Live. I'm Iowa Pro staffer Steve Graff, along with Gill Fishing accounts manager down there in South Louisiana, brother Kevin Jean, fresh off a great trip, I'm sure, to Tennessee. Nothing like good road time for fast pitch softball, Kev.
Lots of road time, Steve. I flew to Atlanta last week for a Gill Fishing sales meeting we had, then flew to Nashville to meet my wife and daughter there for a weekend of softball and got mostly rained out. Now back here, drove home Sunday, and now ready to rock and roll, ready to work, ready for a great show here on Tackle Talk Live today.
You look a little road weary, though. You look
I'm a little road weary.
All right, today we're going to preview this coming weekend's Tackle Talk. The Triple T, the Texas Team Trail Championship, will be on Toledo Bend this weekend, and Kevin and I are going to talk about that. And we've also got a good special guest today, Cory Rambo, Rambo Outdoors out of Beaumont. Cory was part of the winning team of Rambo and Rusty Clark. They won the Outlaw Outdoors Skeeter Championship with a two-day total, Kevin, of over 54 pounds.
Yeah, Steve, day two, they had a total weight, day two weight of 33 pounds. So, they caught them. Cory's going to break it down for us, and we've had Cory on several times, and he don't hold back much. He lets it all out. So, for all you guys that will be going over to Fish Rayburn, we're going to get a full breakdown here of how Cory and them did it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that and hearing exactly kind of what's going on as I've got an event coming up at Rayburn in a couple of weeks, and it's that summertime time of year, Kevin. And of course the problem with Rayburn right now, and I don't look for this to change. You tell me if you agree or disagree, but I think Rayburn may stay up all summer long because they're holding water back still from South Texas.
It looks like it, Steve. We're still getting so much rain, especially East Texas over there.
Yeah.
You guys in North Louisiana get a little bit more than we're getting, but man,
yeah.
we're getting so much rain. I don't look for them to be able to let the water out anytime soon.
No, I don't either. We've got lake level reports for Rayburn and Toledo Bend, and we'll also talk about, again, more upcoming tournaments over the next month. As tournament season kind of starts to wind down, and Kevin alluded to last week that, we ain't got but probably a couple more shows, and with July, August, we'll take off, and then we'll come back in September and kind of wrap things up as far as the tournament season with some of the championships. The regionals will start to take place in September, and we'll preview some of those and get into we'll make sure we cover all that September, October for you. So, but we've got all this and more today right here on Tackle Talk Live. We're going to take a quick break, recognize a few of our great sponsors. When we return, we're going to have Skeeter Championship winner, one of the members of the winning team of Rambo and Clark. We got Cory Rambo coming on. Stay tuned. You're watching Tackle Talk Live.
A good marine dealer is hard to find, but a great dealer is even harder. But in Iowa, Louisiana, there's a marine dealer that falls into the great category. Power Implements Marine, South Louisiana's go-to dealer for all things related to the boating industry. A Minn Kota, Garmin, and Mercury dealer, guaranteeing you first-rate service in both sales and repair. A great selection of new and used boats to choose from, including Skeeter, G3, Ranger, Camus, and Go Devil. A knowledgeable staff that will treat you like family and are always willing to go the extra mile to ensure you walk out a happy customer. To see everything they have to offer, go to powerimplements.com or stop by 606 East Miller Street in Iowa, Louisiana. Plus, mention Tackle Talk Live and save $500 off a new or pre-owned boat or $50 off your first service ticket. Toledo Health is a full-service primary and acute care clinic. Nurse practitioners Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines bring quality health care that's needed and convenient to the area. Nothing is worse than being sick on your family or fishing getaway. Whether it's a stomach virus or a hook in the hand, Toledo Healthcare will try and meet all your health care needs. Appointments available and walk-ins are always welcome. So the next time you're feeling down at Toledo Bend, stop by Toledo Healthcare, located on Highway 6 just south of Toledo Town, or call 318-508-5323. Very few stores are a complete one-stop shop, but Cypress Knee Outdoors is such a place. A store within a store. Cypress Knee is located inside 3J's four-way. Whether you need gas, food, drinks, or bait and tackle, they have it. Cypress Knee Outdoors carries top-name fishing brands like Strike King, Sandtone, Spro, and V&M. Crappie jigs from Bobby Garland. Need hunting gear? They have it. Ammunition from rifle to shotgun shells. Deer scents from Buck Wild and Doe and Heat. Deer stands from Titan and feeders from T-Hanger. Cypress Knee has it all. Located off I-49, exit 127, just south of Natchitoches, Louisiana. So stop by Cypress Knee Outdoors and let John Abram and his staff show you everything they have to offer. Or give them a call at 318-238-HUNT. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
That's right. You're watching Tackle Talk Live. Thank you for tuning us in. We appreciate each and every one of you. This segment sponsored by Toledo Health. 3J's four-way home of Cypress Knee Outdoors. And Kevin, I hope soon to be some of the black label product coming that way, Cypress Knee.
Yep, we're working on it. We actually have been talking to them a little bit about what products they want to carry in store. So I'm hoping to have some black label in there soon.
All right. Seaguar Fishing Line and Power Implements Marine, located right there in Iowa, Louisiana. If you mention Tackle Talk Live, you got two choices, guys. You can get either $500 off the purchase of a new or used boat, or a $50 gift card or gift certificate off your first service ticket. So, hey, but you got to mention you heard it on Tackle Talk Live, and that you listen to us or watch us each and every week. They would greatly appreciate that. Helps them, helps us, helps everybody. So, and we all benefit from that. All right. On the Tackle Talk hotline, we've got one of the champions from this past weekend, Skeeter Championship with Outlaw Outdoors, Cory Rambo of the winning team of Rusty Clark and Cory Rambo. And Cory, man, hey, thank you for taking time to be with us. We appreciate you, dude. And I guess my first practice question is how was practice for y'all? And did you do a lot of practice, or did you just kind of go blind and figure them out?
All right. First of all, really, you got to give credit where credit is due. The weekend before practice, my boss, Mike Bennett, and his dad, Terry Bennett, were out fishing Friday because they had the Rayburn 100, their little community fishing tournament that Saturday. Well, they were out there Friday, didn't get up to about 5 o'clock, went put the boat in, went to go look around a little bit. Mike's flipping the bushes, and Terry threw a Carolina rig out of the back of the boat out in the middle. Well, he ended up catching like a 4-pounder and a 6-pounder. Well, you know, that kind of sparked my attention because those little bit larger above average fish are really hard to come by right now. You know, you can get up in the bushes and you can catch hundreds. But the little bit bigger ones, you know, above 3 pounds is really kind of hard to come by. Well, their little tournament Saturday, they won first and second and had big bass, and it was only to 10 o'clock. And so I knew something was going on there. The area that they're fishing, very, very familiar with it. I've fished it a lot and over the years, and Mike has fished it a lot with me, and Terry has too, and so I kind of knew a little bit of something going into practice. Not that I found them, but it a few of the clues to the puzzle. So I went out Friday before all the weather, and I've been throwing a 6 cents flush and a 6 cents hog walla. But what I do in practice is I don't fish with a hook. I take one of those little owner springs and I tie that to my Carolina rig, and I just screw the bait on there. A lot of times you can tell the size of fish by the way they feel and hold on to it and bite it, in my opinion. So I got out there early Friday morning, and Rusty had to work, and I fished around, and I felt like I had a couple bites that were going to be those above average fish. So I didn't really beat up on them. And as I was practicing, another local angler that I need to give a shout out to, because respect is something that, it for the most part, it seems like a lot of it has gone away in angling. And
Yeah.
the gentleman, Cody Clark, was fishing the exact same area that Friday morning, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, are y'all fishing the Outlaw Championship?" And they knew what they were doing, and they knew that those fish were there. And he said, "No, we're not fishing that." He said, "We're just really just looking around for the Valero tournament." I said, I plan on starting right here. And he said, "Man, if you're starting here, we ain't got a dog in the hunt." He pulled the trolling motor up and left and said, "Here you go. Wish you well and hope y'all do good." So, man, to me, that a lot of that respect is gone away, and it's I just it kind of just really made me feel good about his character, and so I really wanted to make sure he knew that I 100% appreciated that. So
it also gives the rest of us hope, Cory, that will continue down the line, and people will pass that along to these high school and college anglers, because that's what's going on right now. As you well know, there's very little courtesy on the water anymore, and what's mine is yours, is the way they look at it.
Well, in the way I grew up, my dad was killed when I was 11 months old, so it wasn't my dad, but I fished with my grandparents my whole life, and that's really between Bobby and Noby and my grandparents, Bill and Eudora Gregory, that I grew up with the older generation, and man, everything was about respect back then. And you just because you see somebody fishing somewhere, you count that off your list, and you just go somewhere else,
Yeah.
That's just really.
Yeah, we could do a week worth of shows about that. That's for
exactly.
Sure. But so Cory, so go back, and I misspoke earlier. I said y'all had 33 pounds on day 2. You had 31.33. Day 1 you had 22.98. Kind of take us through day 1, and then we'll go through day 2. But how it went down? Did it go down early? Did it go down late? Is it typical Rayburn? It went down in 30 minutes and it was over with. Kind of take us through day 1.
All right, so day 1, we started out, we catching a lot of fish, and a lot of them was Kentuckies and this and that, but we fished around there, and we moved the boat around a little bit. Ended up, we had our biggest fish at the time is probably 7 o'clock. Been fishing for an hour, was like a 285. Well, it's all pieces to the puzzle, and ended up catching a 4.5 pounder. I was like, okay, well that's a little bit better than. Ended up, I think I caught a 5.5 pounder, and then I want to say Rusty caught another heavy 4. And so we had 3 good ones, and we had a 285 in there, and we had one small one. And that the bite started shutting down at 9 o'clock. We wasn't getting very many bites, so we was thinking, we was just starting to get in that lull. This time of year, usually you have a kind of an early morning deal and then later in the evening deal. And so we went, we fished, all over. We fished up by the bridge and just, we just went and fished a bunch of stuff that we had been catching them on. We fished another spot up there, and we caught several on. They was loaded and they were biting. Didn't catch anything good. I pulled up to the bushes and flipped in some bushes and ended up catching another fish. It was exactly 285. So, we had 2 285s was our 2 small ones. We knew we wasn't going to call the other 3. And so I said, man, let's just go back over there and see if those bigger fish will bite. At this time, it was about 12:30. We pulled up there, didn't make 2 casts. I caught a 509. And I was like, all right, man, we're in pretty good shape for day 1. We gave ourselves a shot, go back there to call the fish, and we had one of the other ones that was on its side. It was still good and alive, but it was on its side. I put a fin clip on it. We run pure oxygen in the live well, which is a have to, in my opinion. Ice, pure oxygen. We use Sure Life in there. I mean, I know the water in my live well in that Vexus boat is better than what they come out of, but the water's starting to get warm, and it's just, you really got to take care of your fish. So our thought at this point, it's 12:30. We got 4 good ones, a 285. It's not a chump, but we in our heart, we was thinking that we needed to have a 3+ pounder there, but so we had to make the decision whether to go weigh in early or not, and we decided that a 1 pound dead fish penalty could be crucial, and not knowing if we were gonna call that other fish. So we went at 1 o'clock and went ahead and weighed in. Sure enough, we weighed the fish in. They all swam straight down. That they were all fine, but that was a decision we made. So that night, you're thinking, did I make the right decision by not trying to call that other fish when we're sitting in 3rd place and the first place?
What was leading
had,
day 1? What was leading?
28 pounds. So we were 5 pounds back, and then
Right.
Derek Mundy. He's a hammer. He can always catch 30 pounds. So we knew that we was going to have to contend with him. And then, and then 28 pounds leading, you're 5 pounds back. So going into day 2, we knew we was fixing to pull on them, and we wasn't going to leave where we caught them big ones. And I'm pretty sure I looked at my phone. I texted my wife that, thumbs up. It looked pretty good. 722, we had the 31 pounds sitting in one spot. So
what was your big
off
fish?
The morning, on my scale, it was 717. So it wasn't very big, to have 31 pounds in this time of year. It's really kind of unheard of without a really good flipping bite going, like grass. I've done it before in June, but you're flipping a 1 or a 1 1/4 ounce jig in hydrilla, and that's how you catch a big sack in June. Not the way we caught them, but it's just kind of just unheard of especially the way the lake's fished all year.
Right. Yeah. No. It's to have, and that's what I looked at the results, and you guys had 31. I think Monday had 30 on Sunday as well. I was like, God, they
Fishing
freaking, the
by
big ones
yourself.
freaking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was just going to reiterate. Derek's
yes,
fishing by itself.
yes.
Yeah,
Um,
Derek fishing
so,
by
so,
himself. I mean,
yeah.
he ought to get some kind of trophy for that alone.
And I seen he caught his. He made a post cranking because he had caught two at one time, cranking. And you guys are throwing a Carolina rig mostly on Sunday for that 31 pounds as well. I'm assuming.
Yes, and me and Derek talked a bunch at the weigh-in, and I'm pretty sure we were doing the exact same thing, targeting the exact same stuff. But he was throwing a crankbait at it. I was throwing a Carolina rig at it. If you're around them, I don't care. A lot of times, everybody fishes their strengths, but
Right.
it sounded like it was kind of really the what we were targeting and not necessarily how we were catching them.
I'm not going to
What?
ask a lot of questions, Corey, as far as what y'all are targeting, things like that. I understand you don't want to give that away, not for you or Derek, but what depth are we talking about here?
Man, I'm pretty sure that all our fish actually come out of 8 to 10 foot. That inside edge of the grass line type stuff. You got a space there between the bushes and the hay grass, and then the hydrilla line, and that's where we found those bigger fish.
So Corey, that's brings me back to the next question. With the lake being over 5 feet high right now, one of the best. Somebody gave me some really good advice one time when you're fishing at Rayburn in high water, is to go back to the original water line. Would you say that was pretty much kind of a recipe for y'all?
100%. They're without a doubt, but you never know with Rayburn, and I feel like if you go from high water in the winter time to a slowly gradual fall till you get to the summertime, fish is a whole lot different than low water in the wintertime to get to a rise in water to the summertime. Everything's completely different because all them big fish will get up shallow in the spring, and then they slowly trickle out to the edge or the edge of the bushes or frog fishing or whatever. I don't feel like them big ones, especially once it's June, want to go that way. They're more pulling out and not going up versus being up there all year and then slowly trickling out. There's completely different scenario in my opinion.
I've always been told by some good Rayburn sticks that it's not like Toledo. Toledo Bend, you can go get in the bushes and you can catch 20 plus pounds. Rayburn, they said for some reason the big fish don't react that way on Rayburn like they do on Toledo. That you catch fish up shallow, you can catch a bunch of them, but winning a tournament up shallow is very difficult at Sam Rayburn.
Well,
This time of year.
just to kind of put a damper on your philosophy, almost every tournament that me and Rusty's ever won has been in 10 foot or less.
Well, but you're shallow and Steve's shallow is different, Corey.
Well, I'm talking 5 foot or less.
Yeah, he's talking 3 foot or less. He's talking about being up there in the bushes.
I mean, we catch a lot of them out of 2 and 3 foot of water. I mean, we really do. Most of the time, everybody knows that we're either going to catch them on a Carolina rig or we're going to catch them, flipping or frogging. I mean, that's just really what we do. We do throw crankbait some, but I mean, we're pretty much shallow water fishermen. I mean, there's nowhere, especially in the wintertime, we don't go with a trap tied on. That's our bread and butter, trapping the Carolina rig,
Corey, so getting this win, you of course won the championship, but you also, by getting this win, you also won the Outlaw Team of the Year, correct?
Yes, sir. And that was very unexpected. Clayton and Chris have been at the top all year long. They've had a phenomenal year. And the way the Outlaw Outdoors is, it's double points in the championship, and we caught just enough to squeak by, and that was very unexpected. I thought they had that thing wrapped up, and not that we're ever going to give up, but we didn't even think we had a chance at that. We went from fourth place to first in the points by having a great championship, and I want to say I'm pretty sure that was me and Rusty's 18th Angler of the Year title together.
Wow, that's impressive.
And probably been fishing together 20 years?
19, I'm pretty sure, is the number. It's been so long. Most people ain't been married that long, I think between me and Rusty, I believe between me and Rusty, we've won 19 boats. So it's
wow.
It's an honor to fish with him, and like I said earlier in the broadcast, I lost my dad when I was very young, and so Rusty has kind of took me under his wing, and a lot of those father things, I really look up to him in that way.
Wow, that's a cool deal.
Good deal.
Cory, man, we appreciate you. Thanks for coming on with us, and hey, great insight as to how y'all pulled that off at the Skeeter Championship over on Sam Rayburn. And hey, congratulations to both you and Rusty, and looking forward to seeing what y'all can do in the fall.
All right, well, we're going to give it a shot.
Cory, real quick, Cory, are y'all fishing the Texas tournament? Are y'all fishing the Texas Team Trail Championship on Toledo?
No, sir, we're not. We're going to be fishing, or I will be fishing the Valero tournament. Rusty is going on vacation, so we're going to be hanging out with all our customers and stuff on my real jobs this weekend.
When's the Valero tournament? It's this weekend. Okay,
it's
good.
This coming weekend on Rayburn.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Good deal, Cory. Man, congratulations. Appreciate you coming on, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Anytime. Thank y'all.
All right. Cory Rambo. We appreciate Cory taking the time to come on. Gave a good insight. Gave us some good detail. Yeah. And if you're getting ready to head to Rayburn, I know I made a couple of notes, and I'm headed over there in a couple of weeks. And of course, the Carolina rig is one of the things that's just become kind of a staple for a lot of people, especially at Rayburn. I don't know why at Rayburn, but it seems to be a way to put checks in your pocket.
Yeah. No, it especially this time of year, Steve, it can catch the right size for you. Interesting to hear that it was, 8 to 12 foot deep.
Yeah.
I expected it to be a little bit deeper than it went down. But man, they are, Cory and Rusty are very good at finding those in between fish and how to catch them, and they're very, very good at that. So not as shocked as what it would be if it was somebody else. Hearing that possibly Derek is on that same sort of fish is very interesting to me. So man, there's definitely something to it.
Well, and just the fact that, I'm looking at the standings here, Derek Mundy caught 53.66 pounds of fish in 2 days by himself.
Yeah.
That tells you right there, that's pretty stout for a guy to go out there by himself and pull that off, finish second.
Definitely.
And with as many great anglers as there were. And I'm looking at the standings, and I hate to bring light to it, but it's something I guess we need Clayton Bullware and Chris McCall, who were leading for Angler of the Year. They actually finished 21st. They did not have a great tournament this past weekend, and that's unusual for them. I don't know if something happened to their fish, if pressure. I don't know. I'd have to talk to Clayton or Chris and see exactly what went on. But that's two really good anglers right there, and you beat them out for Angler of the Year. You've done something. That's a good team. So, all right, we're going to take another quick break, Kevin. When we return, we're going to discuss lake levels, and we've also got the Toledo Bend Triple T Championship coming up this weekend out of Cypress Bend. Kevin and I will give us a little preview of that, kind of what you might expect in there. Upcoming tournaments, got another cheater caught in Illinois. We'll talk about that real quick. And I've got a tip of the week for everybody this week, a good one. You'll like this one. We'll be right back with more Tackle Talk Live.
Pride Rods, custom-built fishing rods made to handle any and all techniques. Fishing rods designed for sensitivity and made to last in Montgomery, Texas. Built by Billy Kistler with the finest Gary Loomis North Fork composite blanks available. They offer a complete line of spinning and casting rods for both fresh and salt water. Pride Rods do more than pass the eye test. They excel in performance as well. Ask your local tackle dealer if they carry Pride Rods and pick one up to try it for yourself. Take pride in your fishing by using Pride Rods. To learn more, go to priderods.com or call 832-418-6040. The Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency taking care of Texans' insurance needs for over 25 years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, RV, life, health, and commercial insurance. Owner Clark Moore is a local fishing guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs and wants to be your go-to guide for all your insurance needs. For a free quote, give him a call and see why so many Texans trust the Lake Insurance Agency. 2 locations to serve you in both Nacogdoches and Broadus, Texas. Or give him a call at 936-205-4467. The next time you're headed for Toledo Bend or Sam Rayburn, stop by Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle. They have an awesome supply of everything you'll need to catch the big ones. Whether your trip calls for bass fishing, white perch tackle, catfish bait, or the ultimate fighting shiners, Keith's Tackle has you covered. Keith and former Elite Series pro Ben Matsubu also have the latest information on what, how, and where you need to be fishing on Sam Rayburn or the Bend. So for all your tackle needs, check out Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, located just off Highway 21 on the Texas side of Toledo Bend, or call 409-625-0181. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome back to Tackle Talk Live, our final segment. This segment presented by Seagar Fishing Line, Pride Rods, Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, the Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches, Texas, and Power Implements Marine, located right there in Iowa, Louisiana. Kevin, mention Tackle Talk Live. What happens?
You get $500 off a purchase of any new or used boat, or you get $50 off a service ticket. So, guys, all you got to do is mention Tackle Talk Live to those guys there at Power Implements Marine and save some big money.
All right. So make sure you do that, guys. Make sure you mention us. Let them know that you're listening or watching the show. We really appreciate it. Today, we're going to preview real quick the Texas Team Trail Championship, Kevin, headed for Toledo Bend. Toledo Bend has been fishing extremely well.
Yes.
As you well know, a lot of good weights, a lot of big fish have been, especially in the Sealy. Sealy showed out kind of where Toledo Bend's at right now. And, but tournament weights continue to be high there. I mean, you've got to catch them if you're going to win on Toledo Bend.
No doubt. You got to catch them, and you better put your big boy pants on for this coming weekend if you're going to be fishing that TTT, because they're going to catch them. Steve, you know, we kind of go back to last July, the Brandon Belt that was there, and I don't even remember the amount of 30-pound sacks that was weighed in. I think you can definitely see that. You're going to be dealing with some homegrown folks on Toledo Bend that will catch them. So to compete, you're going to have to be possibly average 25 pounds a day, probably more.
Yeah, and with this rain that we've got coming in right now, I think tomorrow evening is when it kind of starts to slack off. But you can pretty much bet through the weekend, Toledo Bend's going to be on the rise. It's risen over 3 inches in 24 hours already this
Steve,
week. They've
done such a good job, the SRA has, of getting that water flowing through.
Yeah.
And they are pushing it down. They have generated 24 hours. They have been opening the floodgates as needed. They have done a really, really good job of trying to maintain water level from Lake Fork down to Toledo Bend, down the Sabine River to the Gulf, of not getting too much water on anybody. And they've been able to, to keep the river at a decent level, so it's not impacting the ones that live on the Sabine River down south, and did a good job of keeping, Toledo Bend around this normal pool.
Yeah, and right now it's only 8.16 inches above pool, so it's had a 10-day gain of 6.48 inches, 24-hour gain of 3.24 inches. So again, it is on the rise right now, but like Kevin said, they're going to open the gates and
Yeah.
they're going to let that water out. So by the weekend, that lake could be closer to stable and right at pool when it's all said and done. But this rain coming down, there's a lot of rain coming down right now. And so I look for it to continue to jump. But come close to Friday, if it stops raining Wednesday, by Friday, the lake may start to stabilize. So,
Right.
and so good luck to all you guys fishing that. And also coming up, you got the Skeeter Owners Tournament on Lake Fork this weekend, Kevin, June 8th and 9th out of Lake.
Another going to be a great event, Steve. They have been
Yes.
catching them over
Yes.
there on Lake Fork. I look for numerous overs to be caught. They have really, really been catching them over there on Lake Fork.
Yep, a good friend of mine, Johnny Geist, guys over there, had Johnny on last week, visited with him, and man, he talked about how they are absolutely, he said, some of the best fishing he feels like has happened at Lake Fork in the last month that hadn't happened in the last 8 or 9 years. He said it's been that good over there. So good luck to those guys. You got the Outlaw Outdoors Average Joe coming up June the 4th, June the 9th out of Humphrey Pavilion. That'll be taking place. And then you got the ABA Solo 150 tournament number 3. This was the one that was canceled in January due to icy conditions. People couldn't get there. Moved it all the way to June 14th and 15th. So we got 2 weeks. And once again, if you are looking to fish that, you want to make sure that, let me pull up the calendar here, by June the 10th, you need to be registered. Really, June, I wouldn't even chance it. I'd go June the 7th, which is Friday. Call ABA headquarters. Actually, Chris Wayan has put a link on Facebook to help you navigate that and get you to the right place to make sure you get entered. But you got to be entered a week in advance for that Solo 150 on June 14th and 15th. I look for a great turnout with this, Kevin, because there's just not a lot going on. A lot of your championships are over.
Yeah, the only thing going on that day is the Outlaw Outdoors Father's Day tournament, which draws a good crowd, but I think that's a different crowd.
Yeah, I would agree.
Than what the Solo 150 is going to draw. So I think should be a good turnout for sure.
Kevin, another cheater. We got another cheater to talk about today real quick. David Moore, 49-year-old from St. John's, Indiana, got caught cheating in the Illinois tournament, bass tournament up there. And what he was doing, he was actually catching fish, transporting them across a state line, I think into Michigan, putting them on a stringer inside a marina where a barge dock up was, and a barge hand is the guy that caught him, saw him come into the pocket where the barge was tied up. The big barge, shipping barges were tied up. He was taking his break and saw the guy come in the pocket. He goes to the bank, pulls out the stringer, puts these fish on a stringer, drops them in the water, ties it off, and leaves them. And so he contacts the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries up there, and they come out and they're actually there observing when this David Moore come back in that pocket on tournament day, pulled those fish off the stringer and dropped them in his live well. And they nailed him. And so I was like, holy cow. But Kevin, I'd never heard of this. I'm going to see if I can pull it up real quick. This is a task force they got up there in Illinois. The Conservation Police.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Is what they call them. It's a group that they call the Conservation Police, and they cited this David Moore. They're the ones that caught him. I'd never heard of a group like that.
How big of a tournament was it, Steve?
Well, it was a Lake Erie. I'm sorry, not Lake Erie. I'm trying to look here. I'm reading down. It was called the Cal-Sag Bass Anglers Tournament. It was taking place, and I think first place was like $3,000 was first place. And that's going to cost him a lot more money than that, and possibly jail time. Yeah. And he weighed in 19 and a half pounds, and thinking he actually would have won the event. He would have been the winner by more than 4 pounds. And but he has been charged with a Class A misdemeanor and a Class B, 4 Class B misdemeanors, and 1 petty offense. So he's gonna have to pay some fines and maybe do some time in jail. Definitely. And but hey, that's good. Catch them suckers and put them all in jail. But anyway, so anything you want to add to that?
I mean, I just hate to hear it. You just hate to hear it more, and we're hearing more and more often because of social media and everything nowadays. We're hearing about more things happening like this. Um, at some point, hopefully, people get in their head they can't get away with it. And we
Yeah,
put an
right,
end to
right.
this. So, but yeah, just hate to hear it more. More sad news like that coming down the pipe.
Real quick, lake level for Sam Rayburn. I know some guys are headed that way. 170.35. It's 5.95 feet above pool right now, and almost 6 foot. So 10-day gain of 4.2 inches, 24-hour gain of 1.56 inches. Again, all the rain in East Texas, it is on the rise right now. So and that lake will not be coming down anytime soon. So it's not like Toledo Bend. They won't open the gates there probably until the fall, from what I'm hearing. And
Yeah.
but anyway, all right, real quick, I got a tip of the week, and it's hook covers. I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but that's Cory talked about, Kevin, putting a screw lock on and not using a hook on his Carolina rig. And well, I've been doing the same thing. Albert Collins got me doing it years ago, especially when I'm flipping big worms and whatever I'm flipping with as far as soft plastic. And but anyway, I discovered something years ago that really works well for me. It's called clear tubing, and this is it right here. It's just a piece of clear tubing. It works great. I cut it to whatever lengths. I've got a bunch of it in my boat and a baggie I keep in there all the time. But I take this clear tubing and I'll cut it in pieces. And, a lot of guys have said, man, I wish I knew I could do with a frog, Well, here it is. This is a cover I put on this frog, and I'll be fishing a frog quite a bit coming up at Sam Rayburn over the next couple of weeks. This is a good hook cover right here. It doesn't impede the action of the lure at all, but this little plastic here goes over both hooks, sits on top of the frog, works great, and it keeps you from hooking fish that you don't want to hook on tournament day or before tournament day. Spinner bait, I use on my spinner baits. I took the skirt off this so you could see it better. This is a hook guard I've got over the spinner bait. That piece of rubber plastic tubing goes over the hook. It's easy to get off once I get ready to take it off, and it just works great. So if you're looking for something to cover up your hooks with, and it won't work on treble hooks on crankbaits because it does impede the action of a crankbait. It just adds too much weight and displaces the bait doesn't run right with this tubing on it. But I don't know what to tell you on crankbaits. Crankbaits, you just kind of at the mercy of, we just got to catch a few.
Off. Just take the hooks off.
Or take the hooks off. You can do that too. So, but anyway, this tubing is some tubing that I found years ago. I had some cull tags that had this clear tubing, and I changed cull tags. I went to the kind that you don't put the holes in the fish anymore. I put the clips on them. And there was a bunch of all of them had this clear tubing. So I just cut them all off, and I use it now for hook guards, and but it works great. So if you want something, this is what you need to buy. You can find it, whatever. Even hospitals, if you go to the doctor, they get an IV, tell them, hey, you want to keep the tubing because they're going to throw it in the trash anyway. But anyhow, it works great. Just want to let you know. So let's see here. Kev, that's about all I got.
Steve, we are 6 subscriptions away from 2,000 for our YouTube page. For any of you guys watching this right now, make sure go to our YouTube channel, Tackle Talk Live, subscribe to the channel. We're only 6 subscriptions away. Or if you're watching or listening to this on YouTube right now, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We're anxious to hit that 2,000 mark. So, that another milestone reach for us, Steve. 2,000 subscriptions. We're almost there. Honestly, I never thought we'd have got there. Never thought we would be doing what we're doing, getting the views that we're getting, but we are. And I want to say thank you for everybody out there for helping us get to this point.
And thank you to everybody that comes up to me or Kevin at one of when we're at Sam Rayburn, Toledo Bend, especially those 2 bodies of water. I've had numerous people come up to me and say, thank you, man. They really enjoy the show. Well, we appreciate you guys tuning us in, and we appreciate you passing the word along about our program. Help us spread the word. Well, again, we're constantly always wanting to grow and get bigger, and we want to try to help as many anglers as we can. That's what we feel like our job is to do here. And so hopefully you've learned something from us. Hopefully some great tips. Kevin's going to start doing some stuff as well in the future. And so between the 2 of us, maybe we'll learn something from whatever we can teach you. We want to pass our knowledge on to you guys as well and make you better fishermen. So that's it. That's going to wrap us up for today. Thank you for tuning us in. Kevin, have a great week this week. Please check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or wherever you listen to podcasts. If you'd like to become a member of our sponsorship team, all you got to do is message us on Facebook. Kevin will make sure he sends out a detailed packet with all the details as to how you can become a sponsor of Tackle Talk Live. For Kevin Jean, yours truly, Steve Graff. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week with more Tackle Talk Live.